Coyte. Today we celebrate what is called Ash Wednesday. It's a time when you see people walking around with black ashes on the form of a cross on their forehead. And perhaps we ask the question, well, why did they do that? If you came to church, you probably know. But in any case, to explain a little bit, if you look back in the Old Testament, there are stories of people who have sinned and they repent for their sins and they change. And one of the symbols of that changed heart is they would cover themselves with what was called sackcloth and ashes. In other words, they make themselves dirty. Why? Because sin makes us spiritually dirty. And so with the outward sign of the dirty face, we are showing that we accept and we understand, I'm a sinner. I need to change. And the church gives us this beautiful season called Lent. Lent. And Lent helps us to change. There is, through the readings from the Bible, through the various prayer services, and the symbols that we use, including the ash, help us become more understanding, more aware of sin in my life and how to change, how to grow in love for God. In the gospel, Jesus gives to us a story about people who are doing things that look religious, that look holy, but in truth are not. He talks about three things, which are the three areas of our spiritual life. He talks about prayer, he talks about fasting, and he talks about giving alms or giving to the poor. And he says if people pray because they want people to see, then that's not prayer at all. That's boasting, perhaps, pride, but not prayer. Prayer means to raise my mind, my heart to God, to converse with God. And what Jesus is teaching us is it must be honest. It cannot be a lie. It cannot be fooling. We can't fool God. It must be an honest conversation with God, including listening to what God replies to me. Now, those three areas of our spiritual life are really basically talking about our relationships in life. The first, prayer, is about my relationship with God. The second, fasting, is about my relationship with me. Am I being honest with me? Acknowledging my good things, but also understanding that I have my negative, my bad behavior, my things that need to change. Am I honest with myself? For example, if I have an argument with someone and I'm always thinking, oh, it's their fault. They're wrong. I'm right. I'm not being honest, right? It takes two people to argue. I could have chosen something else. So to be honest with myself is the second. And the third is giving alms. And what that means is to be aware of, I live my faith in relationship with people. And especially, if we look at the life of Jesus, especially with the poor. How do I treat people? Do I care for them? Do I support them? Do I share with them? Do I love them? That's the question. And what is the measure for love? Jesus. He's the measure for prayer, his beautiful relationship with the Father in heaven. He's the measure of being truthful with oneself, as he always spoke the truth. And also he is a sign to us of how, a teacher of how to love our brothers and sisters. So Lent is a time for me to look at those three relationships with God, myself, my brothers and sisters, to evaluate and see how I can improve, to acknowledge my sins and try to change them, and then to try to grow in love. God will give to us all the help we need. That's the message of Lent. It's possible. We can love. We can reconcile. We can heal. And God will touch and reconcile and heal us. May you have a wonderful season of Lent. God bless you.